If you've ever seen a spider crawling on a frog, you might have assumed that the spider is in trouble. After all, frogs do eat spiders, but some frogs don't eat certain spiders and instead protect them from their enemies. And it turns out that these little spiders can actually help the frogs out too. So even though they're not related, these two very different animals have formed an alliance. They're friends. Frogs and these spiders have what's called a mutualistic relationship where both species benefit. The frogs are basically getting free security services. And this is especially helpful for the tiny tree frogs whose natural enemies include birds, snakes, and yes, spiders. These little frogs live in South America, but similar partnerships exist between frogs and spiders on other continents. In the United States, the brown recluse spider hangs out with the southern cricket frog. In Africa, the moss spider pals around with the striped marsh frog. And in Australia, the humped spider gets cozy with the green tree frog. This is just a sampling. There are at least 18 different frog species in 6 different families that have partnerships with spiders like these. And since there are almost 7,000 species of frogs worldwide, that means there are probably a lot more alliances we haven't even discovered yet. But how does this partnership work? Well, the key seems to be that each little spider only eats certain kinds of food. For example, the moss spiders only eat termites, and the humped spiders only eat caterpillars. And these happen to be 2 major pests for frogs. Caterpillars often munch on the leaves of aquatic plants, which frogs need to stay safe from predators while they're growing up. And termites can decimate a frog's egg mass by eating the eggs themselves. So when spiders move in, they're basically taking out the trash. Meanwhile, the frogs are providing the spiders with something they need to... Spiders need water to survive, but they can't always find safe places with both water and shelter. Frogs, on the other hand, excrete extra water through their skin, which makes their bodies basically waterproof. So frogs are like walking sources of fresh H2O for spiders to drink from. It's not exactly clear who benefits more from this arrangement, but we do know that if either party is removed, the remaining species suffers. When researchers took spiders away from their froggy partners, the frogs had way more parasites, and their eggs were way more likely to be eaten by pests. And when frogs were removed from their spiders' lives, the spiders were way more likely to die. Basically, these little alliances are examples of what happens when species have to cooperate in order to survive. And scientists think these partnerships might be even more common than we realize. Some frogs and spiders have formed their bonds independently of each other, like the mossy and striped marsh frogs and their spider partners. That means that spiders and frogs have evolved to like each other as companies so much that it keeps happening again and again. If you ask me, that's a great lesson in the importance of friendship. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your friend is just be a good friend. Now you can learn more about some of the amazing animals that hang out with humans by checking out the series on another channel.